Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. Maybe Aaron's Creative Concepts, my non-automotive channel, hadn't decided yet. Anyway, today I'm doing some work in the garage, and as you can see I need to clean up, but nobody wants to watch a video of someone cleaning out their garage. No, I'm going to make some improvements. I got some issues with lighting in here, and I'm also going to install this heater. The garage already has a pretty good fan in it, and I got a few other things I want to do in here just to make the garage a little more user-friendly. And hopefully some of this will help you with your garage, so come along. So, why did I choose this style of heater? Well, these are commonly used in like greenhouses, industrial areas, factories, places like that where doors are open a lot, people come and go a lot, poorly insulated, poorly sealed up, large areas, like a garage. Now these things can be a little pricey if you get one brand new. And I'm cheap. This one's obviously used, we got some rust areas. But basically, they sell on the used market for 10 cents on the dollar because not a whole lot of DIYers get these things. They're not very attractive. I kind of think they look cool industrial, but that's me. Most HVAC companies won't mess with anything used. They'll only get new. So the market, there's plenty of these on Marketplace, and like I said, normally about 10 cents on the dollar for what you would pay for a new one. So I'm going to take this one. I wanted a Resner. This is a Modine. But for what I paid for this thing, yeah, well, I'm willing to take my chances and I'm feeling lucky. I think it'll be fine. But we'll see. Anyway, let's get busy. Alright, so looking at things, the fan's there. That was there when I bought the garage. Yeah, I put the Summit sticker on it, but other than that, that's how it was. I'm pretty happy with that where it is. Over here somewhere is where I'm thinking of putting the heater. And that light is interfering. And I'll tell you, first of all, you see it's only half working. But if you touch the frame of that light, it will shock you. It'll shock you pretty good. Don't ask me how I know this. So anyway, my plan is I want to do some upgrading to the lighting, take advantage of some of the LED technology. So in the first bay, I'm going to take that light and the other fluorescents down. You see that one's not even working. There's another one over top the door. I'm going to switch them to LEDs. And I'm going to take the parts and try to get the ones in this part of the garage working like they should. This whole part over here is storage. I don't really do any work on that side, so I'm okay with using the older technology. The fluorescents over there will work fine. But I'm going to put the bright LEDs on this side and get rid of all these fixtures. So anyway, let's get started. Well, first things first, cut the lights off. I got my LED light stand over here set up. So I can remove that light and rewire it, and then I'll have my room to put my heater, because the LEDs are smaller, and I'll have my LED lights. I'd like to get to these today. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. Wow, touching this, I'm not getting shot. Moses, sandals. Half-pounded nails. Thinking somebody may have stored nails up there. Okay, so I'm just going to use standard round electrical boxes and screw-in adapters. And that should do fine for what I'm doing. picked this location because it's where my wires will reach good. I probably could have moved a couple inches that way. This will work fine. Now, when whoever wired this place up, they use 14-3 wire for the lights, which I guess that's alright. But they have it double switched, so you got some that run off the red wire, some that run off the black. Common ground. Well, anyway, I'm replacing it with 2 different boxes. So, need to run a jumper to the other box. Now, I wish I had some 14-2 around, because you're really not supposed to supply a 12 gauge, ouch, with a 14 gauge, but I'm running an LED light. It's not going to draw enough to really make a difference, and well, I got 12 gauge lying around. So, would I rather use 14 gauge? Yeah, but this will work. Alright, so go put the box up for this one. Wonder why I'm using a blue box this time. It's because the blue ones, this one doesn't have a lip pot, so it'll sit just a hair higher. And my favorite color is blue. Now, why am I moving to the other side of the joist? Well, just because the heater's going to be in that area, I want just a tad further away and a tad further up, just because of the fact that I'm putting the heater not far from it. I'm probably too close for code, but I don't know what code is. And I'm not inviting the inspector out. Now, technically, I could up and over the wire, but just for neatness and whatnot, I'm going to just not do that. Instant regret, but I got a hold now. And after some thought, I decided that the light's pretty much going to be blocked over in that corner from the heater hanging right here. So I am going to put a third canister on this one. They'll be fed off this light that goes over there. Again, it's just a LED bulb, so I'm not that concerned about the draw on it. And that one's just going to be a standard LED bulb. It's not going to be one of those fancy panel ones. Alright, back to the main junction box. Give these wires a haircut. I mean, I don't need that much. I don't like that much. I hope I didn't just strip too much off. Ah, they're good. Alright, so for bulbs, like I said, I'm using those LED panel lights. Thing is, I'm ordering from Amazon, they're not here yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to use just standard 100-watt LED bulb. It'll do temporarily. And besides, while I'm done with it, I'll certainly find somewhere else I can use this or something. Alright, let's see what happens when I put the juice on. Honestly, that's a pretty decent amount of light. Happy so far. In fact, going to do the rest of them eventually. I'm not going to buy my panel lights till I get all these up, because that might be good like it is. I'm pretty impressed, especially when you consider that those bulbs came from a dollar store. Yeah, they're dollar store 100-watt bulbs, which is like 12 watt actual consumption, the power of a 100-watt incandescent. I'm feeling it. Alright, so my light bulbs are up, and I've also put these little pieces of lumber on top of the ceiling joist. Now, that's just a standard 2x4, a little old, but nonetheless, on that side. And on this side, that is a 3x14, very different measurement. And that is actually a piece of a wrecked crabbing boat that I found one day exploring. But the ends are kind of messed up on, and
I got it because I thought it was cool, but now it's kind of what am I going to do with it? Well, I decided to use it to hang the heater. Now why I picked something so wide for that side? Because normally when you see these heaters up in places, they're kind of they're not facing parallel to a wall, they're kind of cattywampus and pointed in at an angle. Like, say right here, I'd be looking straight at it. Now those lanterns, I'll probably end up moving them. But regardless, I'm assuming that the people that do this for a living cock them like that for a reason. So I'm going to do it. Probably gets better air circulation, but I don't know. I noticed the fan's not like that. The fan, one thing I really like about it being pointed like that is it points straight out the door. And when I get some exhaust fumes in here, it can really suck the air out and pull fresh air in pretty good. Another little tidbit I'll show you is I got this drop light I've been working with. And that's just a standard modern LED bulb, an old school drop light. LED bulbs in their nature are rough service bulbs and they're cheap. And I have incidentally tested it because I had it hanging from that hubcap for a little while and accidentally knocked it off. And that's probably 10 feet off the ground. And it's still working.
Those are very rough surface lights. Now, lift carefully, get a friend to help you because these things, they're not super heavy, but they're not light either. And don't do something weird and precarious like, I don't know, sit on top of a ladder.
Lifting it up, I realized there was no bottom on the thing. And I didn't see any screw holes where there should be one, so I don't know if it just didn't have one, but I feel better with them there. And across the back, no support, so anything gets caught there, it can just go right out the back. But that's some sand material. That's the same stuff I used to make floors in that truck. Pretty thick, and well, it's orange. I mean, we're not after appearance, we're after safety, and that should do it.
But I went out of town, and I got to thinking about some stuff while I was out of town. I think I got a better way of putting that heater up there, and also thought about the attic and how I could better utilize that. All right, so here's my plan. I'm going to remove a good chunk of this rafter, joist, whatever thingy, 2x8, and I'm going to have a place where I can get up here real easy and bring parts and miscellaneous stuff up here. Now, these were put up here in 24-inch centers instead of 16, so yeah, I can fit between them, but I'm talking about putting like fenders and hoods and all up here, and I got some pretty good plans. So I want a big opening. I'll explain some more of it in a little bit. But also, if I can get some of that stuff out of my shed, I can turn that into my engine shop and go on some of these engine projects I can't wait to share with you also. Anyway, when I cut this out, I don't want it to fall, potentially hurt me, wedge the saw in anything. So I took ratchet strap, put some tension on that one, and wrapped around the ones on either side and have it so it's bellying up underneath the joist. So after I cut it, it'll stay up here and I can take it down and control lowering. We go hold on to this because we're going to put it right back. I'll explain that in a minute. Alright, so with that removed, I'm going to measure the distance between that joist and this one. 46 inches on the dot. And I'm going to cut that out of the board I just took out and nail it across this way. And then pretty much right over where the camera's sitting, go do the same thing again. Now unfortunately, that piece I cut out isn't long enough to do both halves. Really wishing I had measured first and taken an extra 5 inches, because that's why I'm short, but that's not the end of the world. I'm certain I've got something around here I can use, and I'll find use of that later, believe me. This just take the weight off it. Worked.
Alright, so there are my headed off joists. Found another piece outside that I just had to trim a little bit off to make it fit, so that's good. Anyway, go ahead and show y'all so far. I also put one scrap of plywood I had laying around right here. So yeah, we got some seats. They're out of an Escort. I hope to use them in a 75 to 78 Nova one day. Some Thunderbird seats. My old boat motors are gonna have to move. Area down there, gonna be light storage. Heater's gonna be at that end. And all this rigmarole that previous owners left that I'm gonna have to go through. I think I'm gonna. And for that, I think my plan of action is I'm going to just bring my trailer into the garage, my utility trailer, and just throw all that crap through that hole I just cut in here, and then haul that out of here. And who knows, they might have some stuff up here I find usable. I mean, I see a few pieces of wood. Hey, so far everything I've used has been scraps. I am going to go buy a few pieces of wood, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up for the evening. Take a ride out to Lowe's, get a couple pieces of lumber, plywood to do the floor up here. Okay, time has passed, but I've gotten a lot done in the garage. I found this ladder on Marketplace for 15 bucks. That's perfect for going up there. The one extension ladder I already had, too big. We'll talk about those file cabinets in a little bit. I put some more floor down, as you can see. Another day, I brought my trailer in here and threw some of the crap that they had sitting up there out. But now, it's time to put the heater up. And yes, I tried that once before, kind of unsuccessful. Changed my plan. Still going in the same spot, but we're getting ready to go up that ladder. I'll show you what we're going to do up there. All right, so now we're up top side in the attic. Pretty dark up here, but that's not the issue right now. I'm going to put 2 holes in here, 13.5 inches apart, because that's how far apart the screw hole thingies on the top of the heater are. And do a little measuring, and I'll show you some more in a minute. And there you go, 13.5 inches. Now over top, as you can see, this used to have a tin roof and it went to a shingle roof. So I got a little bit of a gap between my rafters and the plywood in some spots. And I've hung a chain there, and that chain is temporary, but it's got a very specific purpose for this project. Yep, I hung a chain hoist from the chain. So my plan is to take that hoist and lift up the heater. That way, that should be a whole lot safer than that first thing I did. All right, so now I've got the heater rigged up. I got just using a ratchet strap, made some 3-point contact, and I got it hooked to the chain. But I need to put some rods in the threaded holes on the top
to suspend it from, so once I get up there, we can actually hang it. So I'm using this piece of all thread right here. This is 3/8 inch. And I've done some measuring. For me, I find 16 inches would work good, so I'm going to cut two 16-inch sections of this rod, thread in the top of the heater, and see where we go from there. And this doesn't have to be exact. General idea. Again. Now I'm going to want to make sure that the ends I cut are deburred. So that's not hard to do, just turn your grinder on. Alright, so we got our rods sticking out the top. Gonna need to get them in. I'll want to back out, so I could put a little of the blue never turn loose juice on here. Why blue instead of red? Because I have blue and not red. That thing, gonna drop washers down the rods. Cool. Wonder if I can do that twice. First I'll need a washer that fits. Come on. Yeah, this one's not as good. And then go run a nut down most of the way, but not all the way. I'll explain why in a minute. Alright, so no idea how long that took, but way too long. If I had a do-over, I probably would have run the nut in from the other side, come up the rod a little bit, and then put these in. But what's done's done, not the end of the world. Just take a pair of vice grips, clamp onto the rod there, and tighten them down some more. And this will gall the threads, which is the reason I put the nut on first, before I cinch this down. Same thing on the other side. Well, I'll be good right there. Now just take my 9/16 opening wrench and finish tightening that nut down. Okay, very well. Rods are in. Now I'm going to take another nut and run it down, I'd say at least 4 inches. Now let's raise up. Got the nut started on top. The heater is actually hanging from the rods now. Had a little trouble at first because I'd actually raised the heater up a little too high. There you go. Been up in the attic, tightened the bolts down from up there, put some Loctite on the threads, blah blah blah. Now, as you can see, it's still swinging a little bit. I don't entirely like that. So I got a plan for that. I'm going to put 2 more support rods on it. I'm going to go grab it from the bottom. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, so what we got here is a piece of angle iron. This is a piece of old bed frame. And it's got several slots in it. I'm going to use this to go underneath, run some all thread up, and that's going to hold the thing up from the bottom. Alright, so I did a whole take with the camera off. Alright, so the piece of bed frame, we got slots in it, as you can see. And on one end, it's not going to be an issue at all because the unit itself will block off the slot here. On the other side, though, there's nothing really to keep the all thread from walking down here to the big part, following defeating its purpose and possibly causing damage or injury. We don't want any of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old rusty 1/2-inch bolt, drop it through there, like so, and that will not go, it will not go down the way there. It'll just stay here, and it will keep the all thread from walking where it shouldn't be, falling through and all that mess. So that's how I'm going to take care of that, just using some rusty old bolt and a lock nut. Now, yeah, the lock nut's new, but heck. Alright, so now go cut the rest of the threaded rod. Piece is 87 inches long, so I'm going to cut 43 and a 44. One of the boards up there is a little thicker. I'll just make sure that gets the 44. Retrospect, maybe I should have cut the ones up there a tiny bit shorter, but this will do fine. The minimum rod length I need is 42 inches. That's why I say that. So I'm cutting it close, but 43 is bigger than 42, so we should be fine. Alright, so I got the 44-inch rod in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and stick that through the hole up there, hang that, come back, put the 43-inch on the other side, and then we'll get the piece of bed frame across the bottom. Now, I forgot something. This nut here needs to be up there to kind of bolt it so if it swings like this, it doesn't just raise the rod like that. So you can either sit there like I did earlier and do it by hand, or just put a drill on the end. Alright, so that's reasonably close. Alright, so now I got the 43-inch side. Be a little smarter about this time. Go ahead and put my nut on the top. Right down, so I'll have to run it so far. Grab my washer. And stick it through the hole. Break my grinder. Alright, so now that we got it hung, just to try to keep some wobbling and all down, make sure this doesn't move, there's a small hole right there in the angle iron. I'm going to run a self-tapper in. Alright, should do it. Let me run up there, double check everything looks good. And then I can move on from this. Might grab me some gray engine paint, doll that up a little bit. Yeah, either way. Anyway, I got 3 fingers right here between the joist and the heater. So that's good that it's got some room. Say that's probably 2.5 inches. Heater is hung. If I need to, I'll change that out with a glass bulb or like an oven bulb or something. But really, I don't think it'll be necessary, but if I need to, I need to.
Alright, just a little update from the attic. Really I'll have stuff organized, but I got a good part of the floor laid down. These 2 sheets over here, gonna go over on the far side of the attic. As you can see, still got some work to do over there. But this is the other thing I was going to show you. Yes, this is the same chain hoist I used to raise the heater up. And I got the chains going down there because bringing some of the stuff, especially some of the heavier car parts up this ladder, a little treacherous. This file cabinet here and the other ones down there, they're more of the cheap models, and so they're kind of lightweight. But even just carrying them, it wasn't a weight, but it's just awkward getting them up here. So for safety and weight things, because among other things I plan on storing up here are hoods, I decided I would just get this, use it to set my heater, and then come over here. I'm going to try to find some other kind of more permanent mounting place where maybe I could get a little higher and maybe slide this thing back and forth a little bit, so when I get something heavy up here, I can slide it and kind of get it on the floor. But anyway, right now I got a couple more file cabinets, a couple more good ones. So I'm tired of every time I back the truck out of here to work up here a little bit, having to move them. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them up now. Now I'll just show you this one before I send it up. This is one of the good ones. You can tell when they say that. But really smooth drawers. Another thing I look for is sides that come all the way or close to the top. There's some that have skeleton sides, like a picture I'll show you. They can be hard to keep stuff in. They're flimsy. Don't like them, so. But here's the other reason I like these. $8. That yellow one up there, that one was $2. Habitat thrift store, baby. And these things, for organizing some stuff, they're pretty good. I just got a strapper around it. Probably would be helpful if I had more than one on it. Probably be the safer thing to do. See what I'll do. Alright, so again, the reason I'm doing this is not because this thing's so heavy, it's just the safety. It's a little awkward to carry something like this up an extension ladder. So, another reason I'm trying with this file cabinet first is I want to see how this is going to go. This is the first thing to go up. That's as high as she lifts. So yeah, I definitely like to get a wave that lifts a little higher than that, because let me refocus it. As you can see, it's not all the way up there. But yeah, this is just like a plan in development. Well, my idea obviously needs a little perfecting. That ain't bad. Also, that's a lateral file cabinet. That thing will hold a lot of stuff. I could put bigger stuff in there and all. And that's another HON cabinet. So I'm excited about it. Okay, so I promised y'all I would tell you what the file cabinets were all about. Well, like I said, they're outstanding prices on them. I've gotten pretty much all of them from the Habitat for Humanity thrift stores. With the exception of that blue one right there, that one came off Marketplace. But the most I paid for any of these was $10. And you can't beat that. Anyway, what I'm doing with them, I'll show you because I started on this one, is my seldom used tools that I need to keep but don't need to keep readily available. That is the adapter for transmissions for my floor jack. So I'm keeping that up here. I'm also, my little plugs that you put in the back of the transmission keep the fluid from coming out, and the clutch alignment tool, all that's going in here. So that right there is my transmission equipment drawer. And I got many other likewise tools that'll be filling these in. But yeah, just, I mean, especially if a lot of companies going paperless and all, file cabinets are becoming obsolete, so a lot of them are getting donated or just sold off of whatever they can get for them. And anyway, I found out they make great tool organizers. So there's a little money saving tip for y'all. And you notice there's a gap right there. I was just getting them up here. I decided I'd like to get another one that size of a yellow or blue one. Believe it or not, those are the same size. It's just the yellow one sticking out further because of a stud in the wall. But yeah, I want to put one more in that hole. It will fit, so gotta do that. And I got my plywood down. And I've even put some of my seats away. But Also show you, right now I'm using temporary drop cords for lights up here, but I am roughing in some lights. Well, I don't have them finished yet, but they're coming.
Alright, so now I'm going to call that complete for this episode. Hopefully some of the things I've done in here can help y'all figure out a way to better organize your garage. Maybe get a little more use out of it, whatever. Am I having fun doing this? I'm not going to lie to you. No, I'm not. But it's one of these things that just needs to be done. But I've gotten the attic to the point where it's getting to be usable. Still got a little work to do, but that's alright. I can start putting stuff up there now and getting the garage area a little straighter, a little more user-friendly, and get the stuff out of my shed so I can build engines and I can have better cars, and woo, we got a lot of stuff to do. Now, I appreciate if you go ahead, hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, go subscribe to Aaron's Creative Concepts. That's the channel I do for my non-automotive stuff. I actually considered putting this on there, but since it's garage and all, I've decided no, this is Two Laughs Garage. I do have a few videos filmed for that channel. Hadn't gotten them all uploaded yet. So it's small, but that one's growing. That one's going to be all other tips, tricks, and fun stuff. Still got a couple pieces of flooring I need to put down. Need to finish the wiring up there. Find what I'm going to do with, organizing that end, and another file cabinet for that end. Also, the heater, we got it hung. I still need to run power to it, need to run a flue, need to run a gas line. That's going to be coming up later on. Also, before I fire that thing up, I got a friend of mine that's a HVAC tech. So I'm going to ask him to come by and inspect it first, make sure I did everything right, because I'm not an HVAC guy. I don't know much about it. Just a little bit. But yeah, I'm trying to make the garage a friendlier place to be. A place that sometime if I want to just come and run the vehicle outside, come in here and have a seat and just, maybe not man cave, but just enjoy the place. I'll see y'all again soon. Also, pretty much every video I've done up to this point I've ended with, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of your projects, God bless you, and I'll see you again soon. And someone came to me the other day and said, Aaron, that's almost identical to how Jerry Springer ends his show. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He pulled up on YouTube, showed me, and yeah, that's pretty much how Springer ends his show. Not exact, but very close. This is not the Jerry Springer show. So anyway, I will say God bless y'all. I hope you stay safe. Until next time, thank you, and I'll see you again soon.